there's also certain energies and holograms that come in human form, come and visit this so-called Gaia, Earth, whatever y'all want to call it, Mother Nature. And like I said, this is an illusion. So right now, there's other parallel universe that's merging, basically cracking this illusion. So some of us are going to be shifting on many levels, okay? And there are certain holograms that, reach out to you and stuff, and certain holograms, basically that could be you, There are certain timelines that's connecting in the parallel universe, and some of us connecting with it, we're shifting on many levels. Some of us, that's on a high frequency, and basically visiting, passing through different parallel universe dimensions, whatever y'all want to call it. It could be something from another dimension that shares the same DNA, or it could be you from another dimension, another parallel universe, but shows up in a human form with a different hologram. The universe is basically parallel. So certain timelines, are catching up, and certain timelines are merging with the parallel universe or dimensions. You could look totally different, like on another level. That's the reason why I said there's no such thing as color. That's a bunch of mess. There's different shades of skin, and I'm gonna take this to the next level. All right. I'm gonna get back to that, but let me tell you all this. I came in contact with a couple of holograms. I remember some illusion years ago. I was taking out the trash. At the time, that's when I was with my daughter's mother. Of course, we're not together now, but we get along. So I was telling her, I was like, I'm about to go take out the trash. And she was like, okay. So I was going to take out the trash. And this guy, he was like, hey, you better go get her. She's gone. So, I'm like, what is he talking about, So I was looking, and my daughter, she was gone, because my daughter, she loves the outdoors till this day. She still loves the outdoors. She's 16 now. At the illusion time, she was like 2. So, she was gone. So, I was like running, behind her to get her. And, and I was like, you can't be doing that, I didn't know she knew how to unlock the door. She unlocked the door. So, and certain energies, just because we on this so-called illusion, planet Earth, or whatever you want to call it, certain energies still connect to the parallel universe. The illusion is attached to other parallel universe. Y'all feel my signals? So, my daughter's on what I'm on. She experienced the same thing that I experience whenever it comes to connecting with other souls and different types of energies from the parallel universe. So I guess she was running, maybe it was like a memory to her. It probably looked different because, whenever, your loved ones, at that early age, certain parts of their memories from their past life, still, attached to them. Certain memories get wiped out, but certain memories, basically you can't wipe out certain things, especially if you're on a high frequency, But anywho, I was like, I was like, you can't be doing that and stuff. And, I go back to the house and I was like, did you know Kiwi, unlocked the door? And I was like, where was you at? And I forgot. She said something, I forgot. But anywho, so I go I go across the street, and but whenever I left this out. Whenever I turned around, this individual was gone, but I know who he was, so I was like, okay. I go to my neighbors, whatever you want to call it. I go knock on the door, and I said, I appreciate you for letting me know about my daughter and stuff, and he was like looking at me like, what are you talking about, and he was like, that wasn't me. I said, yes, yeah, I just talked to you. You just told me that my daughter was running and stuff. He was like, nah, that wasn't me. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow. I said, you know what, my apologies. I didn't mean to bother you. At first I was like, in my head, I was like, that was you, but I was like, whatever. But thanks anyway, I apologize. He was like, oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. He was like, at the time, that's when I smoked marijuana. He was like, me and my girl in here, we smoking and stuff. You want to smoke? I was like, yeah, sure. And we had that connection. So basically, it was his hologram from another dimension, realm, and I felt like we had a connection in the parallel universe because we all became, we all got along. It was, at the time, that's when me and my daughter's mother was together, and his girl, we all, we hang out and stuff, we got along, but I felt like, me and T-Dog had a connection in another room, and it played out on a physical room, and it was his hologram. I put that together like later on. Like I said, that hologram, like when I turned around, it just disappeared. Like, my trash was even, whatever energy it was, my trash was gone because I was like, oh, let me go grab the trash. I left that out too, y'all. My apologies. And my trash was already, that energy, and certain holograms, you can see certain holograms from other realms and other dimensions can basically touch the physical. That's the reason why I said, some of y'all probably don't know, certain holograms can, reach out to you and touch you on many levels, whether it's on the dream plane or whatever. Like we're energy. You feel my signals, and and I already told y'all the story about whenever me and Spiritually Free, at the time, the illusion time, I was working third shift. I did security, like I said, I did stage security and stuff like that, security for celebrities and all of that mess back in the day. But anywho, I was working third shift, and I was like, I was like, oh, like Spiritually Free would hang out with me and stuff because I was working third shift. I was the only one there. And I was like, oh, they get ready to get it in the parking lot. It was these couples. And it was always a couple like park in the parking lot, do their thing and stuff like that. Y'all get what I'm saying, because I just found out, not to get off topic, that, children be watching my channel. So y'all feel my signals and stuff. And, so I was like, I'm going to bust them and scare them or whatever. And, I told y'all this before, but, so Spiritually Free, she was in the vehicle with me. And so I was like, I said, you see them? I said, I think they up to something. They get ready to get it in. So, I went up on them, and I had put my headlights, flashing into the vehicle, and I got out the car. And these individuals, they weren't even in the car. It was two holograms. Spiritually Free, she seen it, and we was like, they was just there. It was like they just vanished as soon as we pulled up. Certain parts of us is still connected to certain dimensions and realms. You could still think that you're living, but you could also be so-called, your energy could shift, because I don't like to use the word dead. Your energy could shift to many levels. Your physical, just because it's here, certain parts of you that's connected to dimensions and different rooms still exist. You feel my signals? So, you could actually think you're still here, and your loved ones might think you're gone. They might think, they might, like I said, I don't like to use the word dead. They might think you're dead, but you still, certain parts of your loved ones that share the same DNA with you could still see you, and you could still have a connection. The others might not see you, but certain individuals could see you. Like if you're on a high frequency, our holograms could be in other realms and other dimensions. Just like I'm connecting with y'all through the device, my hologram and my energy is connecting to others on many levels, not just on this physical realm. Y'all feel my signals. But, certain parts of you could actually still think, you're here. But, certain parts of you basically connecting from other worlds and other realms, and you shifting on this physical realm, this illusion that's connected with certain timelines. Like, to me, this stuff is played out. This system, the distractions, and the programming. To me, it's played out. So I shift on many levels. I disconnect and shift and connect with other things on the other side. Y'all feel my signals? Because this stuff is played out. Of course, I connect with my loved ones, and I connect with some of y'all. But this system, basically been using your soul and energy, your organs. Your organs is connected to the shape-shifting lines and numbers. See, the timeline is catching up with the parallel universe. Basically, certain things are shifting and catching up with certain timelines. Okay, like I said, this universe is parallel. All right, so how come you think, certain individuals that created the illusion used the four seasons? You got winter, fall, spring, and summer. Basically, that's to control every living thing on this so-called planet, whether it's human, animals, whatever, names and titles, different beings, certain states, so-called states and countries, I call them planets, that's connected and merged with these states and countries. You get snow, you get winter, your four seasons basically, and other parts of the certain so-called planets, like, for example, like Hawaii, or Florida, they have decent weather, and California, now things then shift on many levels, and the reason why it's so cold, because these individuals that run the system, they know certain things then already connected and cracked the illusion, and certain individuals are shifting. So they can't control certain things. So, of course, the shadows, they basically need y'all's energy and soul to connect with something higher. Got you on a different broadcast while they're on another. You feel my signals? So basically tricking y'all on many levels. For example, like the trees, they really don't, there's no such thing as death or dying. Basically, the leaves and stuff fall because of the chemicals, the cold air. Now, if the tree, if it was like, always 70, 80 degrees and stuff, the leaves and stuff wouldn't fall. It all depends. Like, not like changing colors. Y'all get what I'm saying. The leaves, everything is still be fresh and green and all of that stuff, just like Hawaii. Now, now things shift. Now, Hawaii, certain parts of Hawaii getting snow. The weather is basically taking control. And I'm going to do a video on that, but I'm just breaking certain things down, really get deep into the weather. But I just want to give you all a preview. Certain things are shifting. So, for example, not to get off topic, but, the weather, basically the weather with the chemicals and the spells and different types of energies that's connecting with your physical body all over this illusion, it's basically getting on the same system. For example, like I was calling one of my loved ones live in another state. And I was like, what's the weather like? And, my loved one was like, it's 20 and 30. And I automatically know it's going to be the same thing in this state. And it used to didn't even be like that. Y'all feel my signals? So, the timeline, that's the reason why I said that these devices and stuff, is controlling your physical, like it's hooked up to the other planets. Everything is digital. So how come y'all think they call it the timeline on social media? And got the heart and got the bell, and the bell, like, for example, and I'm going to give y'all a preview on this. And then, I'm about to shift. How come you think they got the bell system in the school? Like basically hypnotize certain individuals and program them. That's the reason why they got the bells on social media. The bells can do many things. And, I was like, oh, I'm not even going to put y'all on, but I'm just giving y'all a preview because I'm going to take that to another level. Feel my signals. Oh, I'm just getting started. I'm shifting on many levels. What? Did somebody say something?